Brought to you by Pence Homes and part of the Hitting the Hardwood Podcast Network. This is Lynx Happy Hour. Yo, and what's up, Lynx fans? Hello, and welcome to another episode of Lynx Happy Hour, the podcast where Lynx basketball is always on special. On this episode of the show, I am joined by my good friend and colleague, Mitchell HANSEN. We dive deep into his latest Minnesota Lynx offseason update, different performances from your beloved Lynx players from around the world. Lot of big games, big performances, good news. Kayla McBride has returned for multiple games now. So no harm, no foul with that quad injury from earlier in the offseason. Instagram graphics with caps lock, giant letters, be damned. K-Mac is fine. Who could have called that? Very excited to have Mitchell back on the show for another episode. We also chat some CBA, laytest dealings. Nafisa Collier had some quotes in the latest USA Today piece written by Megan Hall about where negotiations stand, and it's just a lot of reading tea leaves, but also, is it a good sign or not that the preseason schedule is coming out? Hesitate to call it a good sign, but it is at least not a bad sign. Mitchell and I dive into the schedule a little bit, but just real quick, the Lynx preseason schedule. One preseason game in Washington. That will be followed by a neutral site game against the Nigerian national team in Kansas City on Monday, April 27th. And then they wrap things up that following Friday, May 1st, I believe. The 1st or the 2nd? It's the 1st. Against the Toronto Tempo at home. Toronto Tempo, first visit to Target Center in the budding history of one of our newest franchises, our first Canadian franchise in the WNBA. Very exciting stuff. I love Kansas City. It's one of those cities I just have been to a couple of times and just was kind of over the moon with it. And I also love barbecue, and I'm already planning to be down there for that preseason game against Nigeria, the D-Tigress, who had such a great showing in the Olympics in 2024. I imagine that played a part in this being scheduled. Excited to talk to Coach Reeve about it. And yeah, just preseason games are a little bit different because that'll be 3 weeks into training camp or at that point. So the monotony, it happens. It's just nice to, change it up a little bit. So Lynx fans, I said this on Blue Sky, but if we can just get, even if it's like 10 people who are in Kansas City for that game, we'll do a live show somewhere in Kansas City the night before. Let's make it a Sunday fun day. I'm committed to doing that. If I can confirm that it'll be more than just me in a bar with a microphone, though I'm happy to do that too. No gig too small, as I say. All right, thank you once again for tuning in to Lynx Happy Hour, the podcast for Lynx basketball is always on special. My name's Terry Horseman. Please enjoy this conversation with the one and only Mitchell HANSEN. Stick around. This episode of Lynx Happy Hour is brought to you by Pence Homes. The team at Pence Homes has experience working with first-time home buyers, folks selling their first home and buying their next place, to people looking to downsize. With the best tools, technology, and trusted vendors to help with any home project, Pence Homes is a top choice for buyers and sellers. For more info and to set up a time to meet with Nate and the team to talk about your home buying or selling needs, visit PenceHomes.com. That is Pence, PentzHomes.com. Joining me now to break some news on this episode of the Lynx Happy Hour podcast in a suddenly snowy Minnesota. We knew fall spring was going to end sooner or later, and it ended today Wednesday, February 18th, as we are talking, and I am joined by my friend and colleague of Hitting the Hardwood with Mitchell Hansen and the Hitting the Hardwood Podcast Network, Mitchell Hansen himself, ready to talk about this breaking news
Let's go.
as of right now, the Minnesota Lynx preseason schedule.
Yeah, let's go. Games that we don't know are going to happen or if they're going to
I
happen or when they're going
better
to happen.
I better get this episode posted as soon as possible so that a CBA doesn't actually break in the time between. No, if you're listening to this, Lynx fans, you probably know that there's no new CBA as of yet. But we did get a nice press release in our inboxes this morning with the juicy details of a Lynx preseason schedule, which includes one road game, one home game, and one neutral site game against the Nigerian national team in beautiful and delicious Kansas City, Missouri / Kansas City, Kansas. The T-Mobile Center where the game is being held is on the Missouri side of the border in downtown Kansas City. I am very excited about that. That's a game you can drive to and get some great barbecue.
I was just going to say
The
that.
one hole in the Minnesota food scene. I will put the food scene in Minneapolis and greater Minnesota up against anywhere in the world with the one exception of the barbecue category.
Yeah.
So I'm already planning to get down there and get some barbecue. But yeah, so preseason schedule into the calendar, Mitchell. How exciting is this?
Yeah, I mean it's something. I mean, I don't know, it's something to look forward to, I guess. I'm very optimistic on whether or not it's going to actually happen or not, or I'm kind of on the fence of if it's going to happen or not.
Sure.
I knowing where we're at with the CBA deal as we're recording this podcast or the CBA negotiations, I have a hard time believing that anything's going to happen on time. But um, it's something to shoot for, something to hope for. It's a it's cool that they're mixing it up, doing the home and away and then neutral. I know Lynx fans would love to see two home games during the preseason, but I do like how the WNBA does their preseason. They just kind of get it done, get a couple games in, and let's
Right.
go. So that's a nice thing. But yeah, it'll be here before we know it. But
Right.
it's whether or not the dates will be here before we know it. Whether or not the games are actually going to be
Yes.
playing. So
Blink, and it will be late April.
yes,
Uh, to share the full details, which we should do. It is a Saturday night game in Washington against the Mystics on April 25th. Then the neutral site game in Kansas City against Nigeria, and then lengthy rest in between. Friday, May 1st, they host the Toronto Tempo. That's a pretty fun preseason game to have against an
yeah,
expansion team playing in its first WNBA preseason. Obviously, everything is assuming if it actually happens. But yeah,
you,
usually with things like this, the preseason schedule announcement, it's like, oh, we're getting close, and it's real, like kind of like sicko shit,
mm-hmm,
where you start like thinking about what these games would look like. It's just been a long time since you've seen the W in action, so it doesn't matter. Give me a inter squad scrimmage
yeah,
that's
no kidding.
without refs. Actually, please without refs. That'd be amazing. Um, but yeah, it looms over every conversation.
Mm-hmm.
The lack thereof a new CBA, and now it's February 18th. Both sides have admitted that we're running out of time,
Mm-hmm.
and where I'm not less. I think is like we were asked like if this is a good sign that they're announcing even more dates. Like the schedule came out, which I was pretty shocked about when it did, um, and less shocked now that they added a preseason schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't think it means anything good, but if there was no preseason schedule ever, that would mean something bad. So
Yeah,
it's not good. It's maybe not bad.
right.
If that's the best we can do these days.
Yeah. And I mean they got to release the schedule. It's regardless of a CBA, they got to operate as it's a normal year. But I
Sure.
agree with you that like it's yeah, if we didn't hear anything by now, that's a little bit
Right.
more eyebrow raising. But we'll see if it actually comes to fruition. I mean, it's we've been playing this game for what 4 or 5 months now. It seems like, or maybe it might actually be that long, 3 4 months
Yeah,
probably. Of just what's going to happen, when's it going to happen, and we're still
right.
we're still waiting. So
Sure. I also believe this is the first episode. Uh, Humble brag alert. Sorry for being insufferable, but first episode post book deal being
yeah, let's
official.
go. Congrats.
Thank you. Fishing for congrats here too, but no, I bring it up because I've tried to put some public pressure on Kathy to move things along so that the book can happen. I know
It's true.
it would be even more heartbreaking for her than it would be for me if there was no season. You can't, this type of publicity doesn't come along except every other week or so with
That's true.
whatever dumb writer thinks they can do this. So, yeah, that would be great because we're starting to, put apply for grants and stuff and use some of this money from the for the book budget for her going to more road games than normal. And yeah, it's for the first time in my life spending the extra money to protect flights and like accommodations and things like that. Because
Right.
normally I like to ride the lightning a little bit. Like, no, Delta, I'm not going to give you an extra $63 just for something that you're making up here.
Right.
But for a season that might not happen, I'm like, ooh, I think I need this made up insurance now.
It might be worth it.
It might be worth it.
Yeah.
Um, we do have, of course, reporting is coming out about this, on and off. And today, in a piece by Megan Hall in USA Today, where she spoke to Fee directly. And I'm not even gonna. I think there was maybe a little bit change in, not even in a tone shift, but like I think in it, Fee says that like kind of the highlight quote that people are running with is that Fee said someone's gonna have to fold, aren't they? Not saying like and leaving that kind of open ended. So of
Hmm.
course people are taking that quote and running with it. In it, a lot of the same, language is there of players fighting for what they deserve and for being rewarded for the growth that they have ultimately provided for the league. And then it ends with Fee being pretty confident that like this
Hmm.
is going to happen. This is going to happen. We're going to play again. Um, and some of that may have been in response to a quote that the league side put out that said the Players Association's latest proposal would set the league back. I think $400 million is the
Yeah.
number that they're throwing around. Um, so yeah, I know everyone wants to see more progress than this. I don't know. Is there any way to kind of read in between the lines here and find some positivity, Mitchell, or is this just more of what we've kind of been seeing, you think?
I think one of the positives, and it's not just with Fee, but it's with, I mean, Brianna Stewart just talked about it. There's a couple different players that have recently spoken about this, that they all say that they're confident a season's going to happen. When asked if a season's going to happen, a lot of people are saying absolutely. I know ESPN
Yeah.
had done a polling of an anonymous polling of players, and an overwhelmingly majority of them said out of a scale of 1 to 10 that it would be like 8, 9 or so, that the
Okay.
likeliness that they thought a season was going to happen. So to me, that's a good sign. I mean, the players want to make this happen. They're not sitting back and saying, well, if we don't get our deal, we're not going to play. I mean, they want to play, and I think that's the case for everybody. They want the games to take place. But I mean, the players, I got to give them credit. They're continuing to hold their ground, and they could have easily folded by now. Like, to
Mhm.
use Fee's quote, they could easily kind of gave in, and they're not doing so, and I don't know if that'll end up paying off for them in the end. But it's both sides are very much playing hardball right now, and we've
Yeah.
seen that with the comments. I mean, the WNBA doesn't make an immediate statement like that, if they're not seriously trying to play hardball like they have been for the last few months. But
Right.
um, the thing that I wish we would get, and the players do a nice job of this, is the counter proposals. Obviously somebody submits a proposal and then the other side,
Right.
counters their offer. The players have done a nice job of doing that quickly, which means they want to get a deal done. Obviously, they know the sense of urgency. The other way around, the league has they've dragged their
They've
feet
dragged their,
quite a bit,
yeah.
and so that is kind of concerning me because I don't think the league really is taking the players seriously. I think
Right.
they think that the players are just eventually gonna cave in the closer we get to the season, and etc. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it does seem, we kind of talked about it a little bit before we started recording that, it does maybe seem like not necessarily just specifically fee, but a lot of the players they're softening up a little bit in some of their comments with
Right.
they're kind of giving a little bit of grace to the negotiations and kind
Right.
of coming to a
Right.
compromise instead of drawing a
Well, and
line in the
Fee
sand.
literally today saying it is a negotiation.
Right.
And I think that's the first time we've heard, a player say that. Also, for in to like give like Grace a Fee or whatever, this is the same thing that she's being asked about constantly.
Right.
Same with any of these players. So like
Hmm.
trying to read tea leaves between like comments where like I'm anytime they're asked about it, I'm sure it's kind of like ugh,
Right.
like oh well they said it, you answered it like this time, but you didn't answer it like that like this other time. If you're asked the same question daily, like it's gonna
Right.
your answer is gonna shift a little bit, even if the reality hasn't shifted. So I want to get that out there
Right.
as well. But obviously, time is of the essence, and the league. Wait, so am I tracking this right? This is the part of the podcast where we just like fact
Mhm.
check ourselves. Um, so right where we are right now, the league responded to the players' latest counter proposal and then have sent their counter to that proposal, and now it's sitting with the Players Association.
From my understanding is the players had just submitted it and the league then came out and saying the players submitted their counter
Right.
proposal to the league's proposal and then the league basically
Okay.
came back saying that's unrealistic.
Okay.
Unless I'm missing something and I haven't seen another
Right.
proposal from the WNBA.
Okay. And in that statement from the WNBA, it's the last proposal from the league is something that'd be great for players and fans for
Correct.
years to come.
Yep.
Uh, but if so, yeah. So the players have sent something.
Hmm. So
So it's
the
kind of with the league now.
correct. Yep. It's the
And
ball's in the league's court.
you've mentioned the players responding to proposals fairly quickly throughout
Hmm.
this process. And maybe there was something within the league that was like a strategic advantage to drag its feet. Be
Hmm.
like, hey, maybe if this takes longer, the average fan who's not checking every day or something can just see it taking longer and be like, God, just get a deal done. And maybe some public sentiment either doesn't transfer fully from the players' side to the league side, but maybe goes back to neutral a little bit.
Hmm.
Rebecca Lobo talked about this on ESPN, what feels like a month ago at this point,
Yeah.
that they might not have that same leverage that they once did when it comes to the court of public opinion. So, but I don't know that that is if intentionally dragging your feet on either side is a benefit to anyone anymore.
Right.
So I would expect us to learn quickly if this latest proposal was just like an outright no, or
Hmm.
if the league actually was like, okay, this is ridiculous, but here's like
Right.
a slightly adjusted from our latest offer, kind of thing.
That to me is what's so maybe confusing about the league's comment of why they commented so fast.
Right.
Because it was like immediately they commented saying it's unrealistic, it's going to cost the league hundreds of millions of dollars, yada yada yada. Well, I know it's not just. I mean, we all know it's not just one aspect of this, CBA deal. There's many aspects to it, and I know both sides to this point have kind of made a compromise with different areas. It seems like the players are giving a little bit more grace with their side of things in the different areas that are included in a complex CBA deal. But yeah, that to me was kind of confusing that they would just
Right.
downright say no, that's unrealistic because I mean the players. It's not like they how you start off in a negotiation where both sides are very very far apart. It's not like the players were far apart from what the league proposed initially. Um, so I do think that when it comes to the league, I think, you were kind of talking about this or hinting at this a little bit earlier too, or kind of started down this path. But I think the league had initially thought or hoped that as soon as we get into February, maybe late January, early February, the players were just going to kind of give in, and they were going to kind of be like, all right, we got to play
Right.
games. We want to play the season, whatever. I don't know that for fact, but it almost seems like maybe the league thought that that would be the case and that they would have the upper hand when it got to this point. Um, but I mean, like I said earlier, credit to the players for standing strong and standing still and putting their feet down. And I mean, ultimately, from a league standpoint, they can talk about losing hundreds of millions of dollars, but if there's no games being played, they're going to be losing hundreds of $1,000,000. Like it's,
Yeah.
you got to play both sides of that too. So
Yeah. It is. So I don't think either side can afford an actual lockout.
right,
Like I think there'd be a way to stem the tide where if it came to a point, it was like, look, we're not going to be able to play all 44 games on the schedule.
mm-hmm.
We're going to expedite it this way, but like you can't not have a season.
Right. No, I
Like it
agree.
just can't happen like that.
Yeah, and I
Um,
mean, if you delay it, let's say they maybe it's shortened by, I don't know, let's say 5-10 games.
oh,
That's maybe okay, but they
sure.
still need to obviously play a good chunk of the season.
I still think it was a mistake to go to 44 in the first place. So we could
Well,
just
that's true.
while we're fixing things, Mitchell.
Yeah. Let's just go
Um,
back to 36.
36 or all right, 37. We'll give you one more on
Yeah.
this. But anyway, I think also too, just and this isn't what the league is thinking about, but here locally, Lynx fans who, it gets late February, it starts to get a little bit warmer. You know the Twins are going to be shit, so you're not even really caring about that. But it's like that feeling of like, oh, a new season's close, and you get that little bit of just like that itch and that hope and that
Hmm.
energy, like, but it's just that doesn't happen. Or it doesn't happen with the same amount of optimism when it's a new CBA. Just like think of everything that's been hanging over Minnesota
Right.
the last 2 months with
Hmm.
ICE's invasion and stuff here. And I'm not going to get on a soapbox about it too, but I know it's hurting a lot of people. And the Lynx have been the standard bearer for
Yeah.
teams in this market to follow in how they handle social issues and social injustices. And of course, we've saw a lot of action from them during this process already. But man, it would mean a lot to a lot of people if I know we're in a spot where we're not trusting any amount of good news, and I don't think I put the power brokers over at the WNBA offices, and is it Park Avenue or Madison Avenue, one of those fancy avenues in New
One
York. I don't really
one
believe
one of the 100 avenues.
one of the 100 avenues. Yeah, right by Don Draper's office. But it's like it's WNBA fans and especially Lynx fans deserve some good news
Yeah.
right now. So,
Well, and the
um,
the thing with sports too, I mean, you could this I would say I arguably maybe especially in the WNBA, but the thing with sports is it brings everybody together, kind of to
yeah,
what you were talking about. It brings everybody together, it unites everybody. You're all coming together as one, regardless of your views, regardless of your background, regardless of where you come from, whatever. So that is the unifying part of sports. Which, if there's no games, obviously you miss that. You
yeah,
look back at COVID and how much that maybe impacted things,
right,
especially people like us who are sports junkies. So it
sure,
it does it does bring people together, and especially with Lynx fans. I mean, the Lynx fan base, in I don't know, I'm not immersed with other WNBA fan bases. It's probably the same way with them, but especially with Lynx fans, there's a very unique community when it comes to Lynx fans. And yes, you can do stuff. You can go have maybe gatherings at a bar or gatherings
right,
somewhere to get together with some of those people, but it's not the same. But
sure,
I hope for multiple reasons that we do have games soon, even
right.
if we have to. I mean, if we have to bring out the practice squad, if we have to bring out the guys to come be on the court and play a game, let's do it. Whatever we have to do.
I don't need to see that,
Yeah.
but I'm not missing basketball that bad. I'm just kidding, just kidding. It's a joke, guys. You would crush me and anyone I know on the court. Um, but also, yeah. And speaking of Lynx fans too, I put out more of a personal mutual aid request during this process for one of my neighbors tragically behind on rent because of what this occupation has done, and our friend and sponsor Nate Pence shared on socials, tag some Lynx fans. I didn't even go to Twitter at all. This was an Instagram, Blue Sky only. We hit the goal in an hour, and
That's insane.
a lot of people, the caption in the Venmo payment was like Minnesota strong, go Lynx, or mutual aid, go Lynx. Thanks for doing this, go Lynx. Like I had go Lynx in
Mm,
so many of the Venmo payments,
yeah.
and just my neighbor is the family is extraordinarily appreciative of your generosity, and I'm sure a lot of people who are listening were folks who donated just a little bit, just no questions asked. Someone needs help. Here we are, and we hear the testimony from Lynx fans too, just how that crowd specifically has helped people, find more of a home in Minnesota, or find home if you're even away from Minnesota, and that's how you stay connected to home or whatever.
Hmm.
Just being accepted with open arms, in a way that's hard to replicate. So,
Hmm. Yeah.
so
Lynx
let's
fans
get
are the best.
this deal done,
Yes.
Kathy.
Yes, please.
Do it for the fans. Do it for me. As I don't. She hasn't returned any of my calls. Uh, I'm just kidding. I have not called Kathy. I haven't, maybe that's the problem.
Yeah,
I haven't gotten that crazy. I need to go insane with this.
that's the difference maker. That's
Like
the
I need to go full loco. All right, we'll start thinking about that, and then I'll have a restraining order and be banned from
yeah.
WNBA games, and that will throw the book into a tough spot. It really will. Um, let's talk about there is good news of other varieties.
Hmm.
It feels like it was just a few days ago when what did the uh what did the ESPN graphic say on KMac? Like
Um
torn, like torn,
was it torn quad?
or like yeah, it was like just a picture of sweaty KMac with
Hmm.
torn quad in huge letters. And people were going like, "Oh my God, what's gonna happen? Will she ever play again?" And then came back I had to go to the comments to be like, "Guys, I'm fine."
Yeah.
And you know how fine she is? She scored 18 points today in a goddamn EuroLeague game to get Fenner one step closer to EuroLeague glory. Um, wasn't just her first game back. I think she's had maybe 3 games back. She was back on
Hmm.
the court pretty quick.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it was like 2 weeks after that news broke. I think she was
that
back.
she was yeah that there was I'm sure K-Mac went to Fenner's social media person and was like, please just show a clip of me practicing so
Yeah.
that these psychos leave me alone. um so yeah, so K-Mac is playing really well. Not only playing really well, so that's great news.
Yes.
You got, unfortunately, we haven't seen similar practice videos of Fee, but given everything Fee's accomplished, it's like, oh, just kidding. They say 6 months, it's been 6 weeks, and now I'm Superwoman again. Would any of us be that surprised?
No.
Not to put any undue pressure for Fee. Um, so yeah, KMac is back. You
Hmm.
track Link's off-season movements basically for the last like 6 years, maybe longer. I
Yeah.
don't know how long. I don't even know how long I've been reading your off-season updates, Mitchell.
It's been,
About
oh
like,
man, let's see if I can find it. I think since for sure since the 2023 season. So it'd
oh,
be,
okay,
I think probably 5 years I've been doing
that's
it.
when I started. Okay, that's
I
when I
think
started.
it's okay.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think I've been doing that for 5 years. And I got to give a shout out to Jack Borman, who friend of the podcast, who
yeah, great from the podcast.
hasn't made an appearance in a while, but he's kind of shifted over fully to Wolves stuff. But I know he still
It's a
still loves
shame.
his Links,
For a
and
shame. Come
yes,
home, Jack.
yeah, come on,
Uh,
Jack. But he actually was. I got to give him credit. He was the one that kind of brought up the idea to me,
mhm,
and I just kind of took it and ran. So
right.
It's something I like doing. It's something I try to, it's not easy to track them down initially, especially
Right,
where all the players are playing, because it's not like we have a full list of where everybody's playing.
right,
Um, so that part is a little tough, but I mean, honestly, the players to across the globe are playing really well. That being the Lynx
right,
players from 2025. A couple that
right.
I've really been impressed by. I mean, you mentioned K Mac. Bridget
Right.
Carlton's been doing great.
We'll get to Bridget.
Yeah, but you know, I've been really. I mean, Jess Shepard's doing what she's always been doing, but
Right.
Masha and Dorky Uhas have been impressive to me
Yeah.
overseas this offseason. So
Right.
those are two I'm
Well,
really impressed by so far.
we can bring up Dorka in this too, because um, K-Mac plays for Fenerbahce, the
Hmm.
undisputed Turkish Giants, one of the best clubs in
Yes.
Europe. Um, and Dorka moved from Italy to Galatasaray
Hmm.
in Turkey, which kind of, Fener's rivals, just another, big league, not quite as big as Fener,
Hmm.
but Dorka's been playing a lot. But so like when we talk about K-Mac in doing this in EuroLeague game, like this is like that's a WNBA level game.
Yeah.
That's like
Oh yeah.
the WNBA, level. That's playoffs. That's pressure. She had 18 today,
Hmm.
started and played over 30 minutes. And they won. Oh God, I just closed that box score. Um, Another thing I give you credit for this is some of these websites will crash your computer.
Yes.
Uh, you're
That happens frequently when I'm updating
right.
these every week. But I
What do
mean
you
that
guys?
to
Mom,
your
I was
point.
looking at EuroLeague stats. I swear. Um,
Why are there so many
and
viruses on my computer?
but so yeah, like Dorka, and I haven't watched a ton of Dorka's film, but just like the stat lines are
Hmm.
impressive. Which
Yeah.
that Dorka, we're gonna talk about another player that's under contract in
Hmm.
Kosu, who I think it's definitely worth mentioning. But
Yes.
a couple of the two players playing in action right now who are the only players under contract for the Lynx next season.
Yeah.
So that makes them even super duper relevant. But
Oh, absolutely. Going back to K Mac too, you're talking about like you mentioned her 30 minutes that she played. That is
yeah,
one thing that I've seen this offseason too. She's playing a good amount
and
of
that's
minutes too.
K-Mac.
That
Like
is. Yep.
everyone's just like, oh, like look at like how much longer can she possibly do this? And I'm like, until she says she can't.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, I agree.
if she says,
She's
guys, I'm fine, I'm like, all right, she's fine.
yep.
So yeah, I am interested to hear what K-Mac thinks about the new coaching era in Pittsburgh for her beloved Pittsburgh Steelers
Oh
and what their
yeah.
offseason looks like.
Yeah.
I don't need to hear her talk about her health or her game. I just I know it's where it's supposed to be. Like K Max may be the most trustworthy player
That is true.
in this league. So be interested to of course hear like how this season has gone for her from a game to game standpoint. But
Yeah.
yeah, she's back. She's good
She'll be all
as
right.
always. I want to hear what's going on with the Steelers because for the first time they're kind of dramatic. That would be a fun pod episode.
K Mac, if you hear this, we would
Yeah,
love to have you on the podcast.
yeah. So a Pittsburgh Steelers special, um, and what the hell they're doing over there. But
Yeah.
I digress. Um, One team that we don't get to see in these EuroLeague games is Ekaterinburg, who are dominating in Russia. They're not eligible to
Yes.
play in EuroLeague, where Masha Klendikova
Hmm.
and Ola Kosu are playing. They did just win the Russian Cup final recently. You may have seen Ola's Instagram photos of posing with the trophy celebration on point. Both her and Masha have been playing a lot. Masha has been the double
Yes.
double machine possible, and that team is just dominating in Russia right now.
Hmm.
Masha is a player I'm interested in having back at
Yes.
maybe like it's going to be hard to think about like the salary cap will be so different, But whatever percentage of the salary cap Masha took up last year, I could look this up on her hoop stats right now. But let's just say it was like 10%, like hypothetically, maybe a
Yeah.
little bit more. I'd
Yeah.
probably actually it probably wasn't even that. Um, I'd be interested in a significant increase of percentage for
Yeah.
to have Masha back just as someone who can come off the bench, start in a pinch, and just grab rebounds, just get in the way, play some tough defense, and give hilarious, wholesome, endearing sound bites about it
Yeah.
afterwards. I could listen to Masha's impression of Cheryl telling her to get rebounds in perpetuity.
Uh,
I don't even that wasn't even like prompted. She was just like, yeah, that was a great day in in shoot around.
oh yeah.
10 out of 10 shoot around quote for sure. I might ask if Masha's back, I might ask for Masha every shoot around. Um, just
She
because
did
you gotta keep it fun.
she did make 54 just over 54,000
54,000. Okay.
last year, and she's a reserved
Yeah.
free agent this year. So obviously
Right.
Minnesota has the
Okay.
rights to retaining her.
Right. So that's probably, a few percentage points in that direction
Hmm.
towards the likelihood. But we're seeing Ola getting a lot of time,
Yes.
usually on the right side of double figure scoring.
Hmm.
Um, the field goal percentage, looks good. The highlight plays is
Oh yeah.
Ola's a human highlight reel.
Hmm.
So just seeing her continue to play a lot, and for an elite club, I won't pretend to be someone who can speak to that level of competition. I wonder what kind of that ban from other, you know, uh, intercontinental competition has done to the
Hmm.
Russian league, and just kind of the ripple effects that has had. But uh, there's a lot of high level players still
Oh yeah.
still in that league, and players making money in that league, and so I'm not doubting it. It's just something I'm not as up to speed on, but seeing Ola play a lot
Hmm.
and
And
in games that they win hardware, and
right.
this is meaningful basketball for her.
Yeah.
That's a great sign for what you wanted to see out of her this offseason.
Right. And she's contributing well in those games too. Like she's it's not that she's, just coming off the bench and playing a few minutes and then, is on those teams. She's contributing to those victories as well. And the the thing that I always kind of look back at Maya Hirsch and maybe her lack of traction that she's been able to get overseas and the lack of improvement,
Right.
I guess you could say, is what we've seen. Kosu is doing what I think the Lynx had hoped Maya Hirsch was
Hirsch.
going to be doing.
Sure.
And I think that Kosu is essentially taking place of Maya Hirsch. I don't know if we'll ultimately
Right.
ever see Maya Hirsch if she doesn't
Well, right
continue
now
to
there's
excel.
10 open roster spots by my calculations.
Okay.
So,
Okay. That's true.
um, yeah, my Hirsch technically still in the fold. At least
Yeah.
seeing the floor a little bit in
Yeah.
France.
She
It's
is.
good.
It and that's better than last year where she just kind of played here and there and it just
Yeah,
I don't know if it was garbage time minutes, but she didn't play a lot at all,
right.
or
And
she had a lot
she's
of
also
DNPs.
still super young, so we,
Yes,
we can give
that
Maya
is.
Hirsch
Yeah.
a little bit of grace as well. But
Hmm.
yeah, you didn't see sort of any of like the eye-popping box scores or just like
Right.
play after play after play of highlights, and
Hmm.
that stuff, it can be worth a dime a dozen anyway, but it does help for, generating buzz and publicity
Oh yeah.
among the fan base.
Right.
Um, I think K-Mac playing at a high level is this the best news in terms
Hmm.
of tracking the most recent additions of the Lynx roster. But also Bridget Carlton really finding her shot playing in Czechia, sorry,
Hmm.
for Praha. They also played today, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it's today. They lost. I think they have another because it's the quarterfinal play-in game. Uh, Fact of the matter, she's shooting 56% from three in EuroLeague right
Hmm.
now,
Yeah.
and that's not. there's that game she broke the record or set the or matched the record going 9 of 12.
Mhm.
She's also had a 4 of 4 night from three in EuroLeague. She's had a 5 of 8. She had a 6 of 9. Like this isn't just like, oh, she got hot in one game and that's propping it up. Like she's been a sniper from
She
out
has
there,
been.
and that is what you want to see BC doing.
Oh
BC
yeah.
doing BC things. Like Reeve said after the Commissioner's Cup championship when they beat New York, BC throws daggers, and
She
that
does.
still happened last year, but I think there's a little bit of uh, either a drop off of players maybe keen on BC a little bit more, or if the game plan just moved the ball further away from her. It just wasn't the same level as it was in 2024.
Right.
But that doesn't mean it can't, you can get back there and even exceed where she was. So
Yeah.
always all time links, all time fan favorite. So love seeing BC threes go in.
She's shooting as of through their game today, which they lost, by the way.
Right.
They
That's
lost
by
82-71.
right to
Yeah, she's
Zaragoza.
shooting 56.5% from three in 10
Right.
games in EuroLeague, and then 42.5 in Czech ZBL league or
Right.
Czech CBL action. So that's pretty damn good in
Yeah.
a 11 and 10 game sample.
Right. And I believe the Czech league is a pretty significant step up from the
Hmm.
Hungarian league she played in last season.
Yeah,
Or last off,
yeah.
or no, two off seasons. Last year.
She was in what, two different spots last year?
She was in two different spots last.
I can't remember.
It was
It seems like
it
3
was
years
she was
ago.
in she was in Hungary prior to the 2024
Yeah,
season.
yeah, yeah. Yep.
Um and then okay.
Yeah. But yeah, she's doing well. I mean, I I kind of, when it comes to Jess Shepard, I don't
Oof.
know this. I don't, like, I'm not reporting
I'm
anything. I just think she's going to get too many offers that the Lynx aren't going to be able to match in free
sure.
agency. So I'm already starting to think as though she's kind of
I
on the out, and that's why I'm watching Masha a lot more and
right.
seeing what she's doing, because I could see her stepping into a similar role.
I also don't know anything here. Which let's just continue to tell the listeners how little we know, Mitchell. That's good
Yeah.
podcasting. But when I asked at one point during last season, I asked Jess, just, you've played in so many places around the world.
Mhm.
What's your favorite? And she said Italy. Just love Italy. And she's having a great season in Italy. Maybe Jess just lives in Italy forever.
Yeah.
And in the off season makes incredible Jess Shepard Italian TikToks. Uh, but I know she's still a competitor and wants to play in the best league in the world, which is the WNBA.
Right.
But I never got any recs from her. But we did have I told her that I was like, oh, I have to a wedding in Italy after the season or during the playoffs. I'm gonna need to get some recommendations because we're going into Venice where she played in that was her last stop in Italy
Yeah.
before playing in Greece and now playing for Famila. Um, but yeah, she absolutely loved it, and she's the Italian league suits her. She's balling.
She is the kind of player that you can tell absolutely loves it over there. And
Yeah,
that's part of why I think we saw her, last year miss, well, in 2024 miss the
right,
WNBA season, because she just likes being overseas. And if
right,
she can make more money over there, credit to her. I mean,
right.
you got to go do that.
I don't think anyone's out on the bump in salary this year though.
Yeah,
So that's
that is true.
I'm calling myself out for a dumb take right there, but also you don't have to pay me much to just abandon everything here and go live in Italy for a while.
Yeah,
So
there is
I
worse
know
places.
there are worse places to be. Um, and yeah, and she's killing it. Fee's absence from Unrivaled has kind of been a bummer because it's
Yes.
still Unrivaled's very fun, but maybe my biggest sports related disappointment of the winter is both Court and T getting shut out in the one-on-one tournament. Um,
And
They've
Courtney's reaction after that happened too was
right.
absolutely priceless.
That might have been better for Studbuds than not like I think the best would have been them facing off in the finals.
Yeah.
Um, but of course, them being, all time great sports. The content was pretty funny. Court's
Uh,
reaction was amazing.
those two.
Land's playing well as helping to have the mist have clinched a playoff spot. And obviously Unrivaled's doing great, and I
Yeah.
think they're crushing it as a league. But just
Hmm.
the Lynx lens of it, just a fewer total amount of Lynx related players. Obviously, Dejanay would have been playing if not for the injury.
Hmm.
No fee. K-Mac didn't spend time down there this year, so I've still been watching. It's just it's like just
Yeah.
kind of like scouting from a free agency standpoint. I know
Right.
no one wants my opinion on any of this, and I'm
Yeah.
not offering it because nobody wants it.
Uh,
But also, yeah, and then I'm a big Marina Mabry fan, so seeing her
yeah.
kill it and
Oh
then
yeah.
be like, oh, I'm everything from the crash out jar is going to the people of Minnesota. I'm just like, ah, oh, Marina.
Yeah. She's great.
So, so I've been enjoying the hell out of it, but I'm just like, ah, man, I wish more Lynx girls were playing.
Yeah.
But
No, I
um,
agree. Jalen Sherrod actually started with Athletes Unlimited too at the beginning of the month, so she's in currently in week 3, with
right,
that like 4 week season or whatever that is.
right,
But she's doing relatively all right. I mean, she's
yeah,
played 6 games, just under 7 points, so she's doing okay.
nice,
But
yeah.
another
I
player playing in the States.
I won't be surprised at all if Sherrod is back in the fold
Yeah.
next year. Like Coach went out of her. I don't know if Coach went out of her way because I definitely asked about Jalen a few times, but definitely like mentioned like how coachable
Hmm.
she was. Jalen's like also I think just graduated with her first master's
Did she?
in yeah, and I think is pursuing a JD as
Wow.
well.
Good for
And had
her.
her number retired at Colorado this offseason.
Jeez.
So yeah, there's a ceremony for her at a Colorado basketball game before AU started. And then yeah, so she's pursuing JD and criminal justice
Yeah.
as well. Um
When
so
does
shout out to
Terry Horseman's jersey go up?
at Minneapolis Southwest.
Yes.
Yeah, they'll be apparently there was an alumni night earlier this year and I got invited, but I got invited from another teammate who got invited and I was like, "Oh, my invite must be in the mail." So that's where my status is. They might
Uh,
invite me to talk to an English class or two. Uh we'll see, we'll see.
Another reason for this book to get done, and another reason for the
Exactly.
WNBA season to play. Come on, Kathy.
Thank you, Kathy. No, but yeah, I if you have read I don't think this is part of my bio on the Nine Sports, but in my writer bio on multiple places where I've published sports writing across the interwebs, there is a detail that I'm from Minneapolis and grew up to become the all-time lowest scoring player in the history of Minnesota high school boys basketball.
Uh,
And I will explain that story if you ever that's different. It's a story for another day.
yeah.
But I will explain why. It is a little complicated, but I was still there. So there was a jersey. There wasn't. I was number 42.
Heck yeah.
Just 'cause I
Little
wanted to match.
Jackie.
I wanted to match my football number. And I that was part of why I chose it for football, but also kind of in at least the way we got our basketball jerseys, wherever we ordered from, they got bigger the higher the number went up. So I was
Yep.
just in like a double XL jersey as
Yep.
like one of the smaller kids on the team.
Yep.
Didn't matter because I didn't play that much. But
You and me have a
yeah,
very similar career because I that
I,
was exactly my case.
right. Well, you're way taller than I am, so that's more
Uh,
embarrassing for you. So,
it is. It's I
uh,
have the coordination of a I don't know, you could maybe say a giraffe. It's just not great. So
okay. Still got that height though. Where did you go to high school, Mitchell?
the school that one Kyle Radke built, Ricori High School in Cold Spring,
Ricori High
Minnesota.
School. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out Racky.
Yeah, Radke's good dude.
Yeah.
Him and my sister were the same age. And a fun fact for the listeners, I started at, or I worked for the Timberwolves and Lynx in 2016, 2017, in part because of Kyle. Kyle was the guy who hired me on the digital content team. So, shout out Kyle. He's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rocori in
What's
Cold Spring. So it's an acronym. It combines Rockville, Cold Spring, and Richmond, and it's RO for Rockville,
CORI.
CO for Cold Spring. The first two letters of Cold Spring, and RI is Richmond.
Wow.
RI.
Is it, which of those three towns is it actually in?
Cold Spring.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay. Are you from Cold? Are you from Cold Spring too?
Yeah. Yep. So I live like a mile away from high school.
3rd Street Brew House.
Heck yeah. In the land of Cold Spring Bakery. There's a bunch of goodness in that.
There's you guys got a town ball baseball team.
Yep.
Up
Cold
there,
Spring
right?
Springers.
The Cold Spring Springers.
Well, there's 2 of them actually.
Oh.
Well, 3, I should say. And then there's one in Richmond too. But there's 3 town ball teams in Cold Spring. They have the Cold Spring Springers, which is in a different one. I don't know what classes they're in, but the Cold Spring Rockies. And then there's the Cold Spring Silver Springers, because it's the older guys that are now too old to play for the Springers, so they now play in the Old Man League.
Well, I love me some town ball. I pledge allegiance to the Measville Mud Hens, just out by Red Wing, because of King's Bar and Grill in Measville. Best burgers in Minnesota. I said it.
I gotta check that.
But yeah, I'll try to make it into a Cold Spring Springers game.
Heck yeah.
But it is when it's summertime, that's typically reserved for all things Lynx. But
that is true.
There'll be a day where there's a game and Lynx aren't doing anything. And
I'll show you around town. It's not that big. There's a
it won't take it'll take a minute and a half for
probably. Yeah. There's
I like it. Efficiency.
There's 3 bars, a brewery, and a bakery, and a couple churches. So
what else? What else do you need?
Exactly.
Yeah, I've been saying it. So, all right, Mitchell HANSEN, the pride of Cold Spring and Rocori High School. A couple guys not having their number retired, but happy to be on a podcast discussing much better athletes who do get their numbers retired.
Absolutely.
So yeah, thanks, dude. And hopefully next time we have one of these, we'll be closer to a CBA or even have one. Dare to dream.
Hey, we can still talk about preseason in the meantime.
For sure. All right, Mitchell HANSEN, thank you so much, man.
Appreciate it.
Thank you again to Mitchell HANSEN for joining me on this very fun episode of Lynx Happy Hour. And thank you, Lynx fan and listener, for tuning in. I sincerely appreciate it, and hope by the next time we have an episode, maybe there's a new CBA. We've been hoping that for some time now. And like Fee said, just be patient. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. We're going to play again. So hopefully that comes sooner rather than later so we can get to the fun part. We love the fun part, especially here. That's why, it's happy hour. It puts the happy in happy hour. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you again to Nate Pence and the entire team at Pence Homes. Shout out Fire Hawk Construction, Fantasy Sports Evo, and our friends at Homage. Got to get some new Homage gear before the season starts. I haven't checked to see what the WNBA options are, the new ones are, but they always come correct over at Homage. So hit them up. Buy a shirt for you, buy a shirt for a friend. Rate this show and review it 5 stars if you haven't already. What are you doing? It really helps grow the show a lot. And yeah, let me know if you're gonna go to the preseason game in Kansas City. We'll get a fun live show together. All we need is a microphone, some Lynx fans, and some barbecue, and some good cheer and some merriment, and we've got ourselves an event. So hope to make something like that happen. Hope we get a nice juicy CBA that we can bite into here in the coming days. But thank you once again for being you and for tuning in to this episode of Lynx Happy Hour. Have a great weekend, everybody. Peace.